So, folks, we gotta talk about the fact that privacy laws in the United States really need to happen. Especially digital privacy laws really need to happen because the laws that are currently being implemented online and to regulate the internet, regulate your identity, track your location and what you're doing, all of this is it's really getting out of hand. Like, I feel like a lot of folks have kind of put up with it for a while because it just has kind of been the cost of existing on the internet. But like, we're really getting to a point where it's not sustainable. And part of why I say that comes to us courtesy of California and Gavin Newsom, actually, because Gavin Newsom signed a bill passed by legislators in California last year that goes into effect on the 1st of January next year. And what this mandates is that all operating systems must have age verification in their operating systems. I mean, I gotta be honest, that's insane. It's insane for like 100 different reasons. Not the least of which that like a lot of operating systems don't ever connect to the internet, or like, for example, your fridge might run on Linux. And does that mean you need to register your age with your fridge? Like, operating systems aren't internet things, so how do you, like, this is an unenforceable law and it doesn't mean anything, but like, also, even if it were technically feasible, why on earth would anyone want to register their identity with every single electronic they own? That sounds I mean, that's frankly insane. It's just insane. Because they are also including Linux in this list. So, like, it's literally everything that has an operating
Bring back
system.
my DOS and CompuServe and get off my lawn, you damn kids.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, in order to just deal with this, if it's actually enforced or they actually try to enforce it, like, people are just going to be breaking the law nonstop or going back to older operating systems that didn't need this shit. Yeah, scan your passport to access your refrigerator. You can open your dishwasher if you have a driver's license, but you can only open your microwave if you have a real ID. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But I will say, like, again, as many people have pointed out, just like on a technical side, there is no way to implement this. But in a similar way, a lot of the other things that we have going on legislatively, because I genuinely, I have no idea how California even intends to, like, try to look like it's enforcing this. Like, I have no idea. No idea. I can't wait until the SAVE Act applies to a fucking Keurig. They'd never do that because they want married women in the kitchen as much as possible. Alright? Married women shouldn't be voting or having to get their husbands to turn on their coffee makers. Come on now.
Thankfully, OS under this law are only required to do that the hub-style age verification where you enter your birthday in the 1800s. Still sets bad precedent.
And that is the thing, right? Like, the kind of age verification they're doing is quite literally how old are you? And you can put it back to like the year 1901. You know, it's not verified against anything, but it begs the question, how on earth is this helpful to anyone? You know, like, this is all just bullshit. I do this on every site. Yeah, because no, like, they don't deserve your actual birthday. It's just a nonstop cavalcade of silliness when it comes to, you know, age verification stuff, right? But I did want to talk a lot about how, you know, while that law is silly, it's crazy to me that we aren't passing we're passing laws on like age verification for OS, something that is stupid as hell and unenforceable, but we aren't passing laws against stuff like this. The government used targeted advertising to track your location. Here's what we need to do. Like, essentially the government now is slapping cookies on websites and tracking people with their data in order to or buying that data and using it to track you. It's all deeply, deeply fucked up.
We need to require you to bring your birth certificate to use the internet.
Yeah, that really would solve some problems, wouldn't it? I feel like birth certificates for anyone with a penis, I feel like that's the way to go. I think finally Republican men might start understanding why having to provide proof of ID might be a problem. Your voter ID has to include girth. It's so stupid. The government is now tracking you via ads and via like the metadata that you put out there by going around on the internet, right? And this isn't the part where I go sponsored by NordVPN or anything like that. But like we do need to all start looking into ways to protect ourselves and our privacy while we're online. It's becoming more and more necessary, especially in an age where like there are masked guys with guns roaming streets all over America claiming to be government agents, and they're tracking people down and showing up at their homes and intimidating them or even arresting them and like torturing them and like their disappearing zones, their black sites. And like this all is getting really, really scary and unfortunately more relevant for us. We need to be protecting ourselves, and that also means pressuring our elected officials to take action to protect us. For way too long, folks in the United States, our data has basically been up for grabs. In order to try and keep like myself relatively protected, I use Incognito. And again, not sponsored. I cannot stress enough how not sponsored I am. But like in order to get my information taken down from just being publicly posted on the internet, I need to use like a paid service of lawyers to get that information taken down. But people still have that info from metadata that gets posted on the internet. Like the government definitely can still track like what kinds of stuff I've done online, because there's no protection for your data out there whatsoever other than what you bring to the table. It's getting more and more worrisome. The Congress is considering abolishing your right to be anonymous online through the COSA, and building on like this anti-porn, anti-sex worker legislation they've been passing. Like it's become a huge issue, right? Like they want to remove your ability to access porn or to be not spied on the internet. Like they want to control everything you do online all the time. And it's gonna be like the kind of thing where if you don't really care about it now, you're gonna care about it soon. Yeah, they want to repeal, they want to fuck up Section 230. It's all awful right now. And the attack is to lock down your freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And they start with pornography, by the way, because it's the easiest for them to fearmonger about and to get conservatives on board with curtailing. The party of absolute free speech is suddenly going big on censoring the internet from any kind of speech they think is too spicy. But they use porn as the entry point, and then they go a little bit farther and a little bit farther and a little bit farther and a little bit farther. That is how this goes every single time. Okay, is this another one of those anti-porn laws? I mean, kind of. It's
Remember,
not just...
guys, Support the Electronic Freedom Frontier or EFF.
True, Balls Steve. True. But this isn't one law. This is a huge package of laws. No pun intended.
They support asterisk control.
God damn it, Sake. Wonderful timing. God damn it. All I gotta say is that, again, age verification ends anonymity on the internet, because essentially what they want you to do to verify your age is scan your face or scan like an actual ID. And again, also in an era where anything can be hacked, like you getting your face and or ID scanned in anywhere presents a security risk to you. But they want you to do this for everything to like verify who you are. But then they're going to hold on to that verification and attach it to your movements online. They are going to know who is saying what and who is doing what. And then they're going to like throw their AIs to scrape up all that information and be able to produce it on command. They are going to use this to assemble individualized dossiers on every man, woman, and child in the country. And if that sounds like hyperbole, just remember ICE is currently doing that right now, just with their phones, to anyone who shows up to protest. And guess what? A lot of those folks are getting kicked out of like TSA, World Pass or whatever it's called, that allows them to go through TSA security. Like, yeah, exactly. If you are a trans person, you should also know that maybe this is a really bad thing. If you're any kind of marginalized person, you should maybe have an inkling that this is a deeply bad thing that could be abused by people who mean us all harm. And that's why, again, these age verification ideas are all routinely terrible. And almost in all cases, the companies that are doing the age verification are fucking lying. Like, oh, we don't retain the information. And then they do retain the information. Because there's no protection for our info. Like, the entire thing, it keeps coming back to the fundamental premise here, which is that your data online is right now being traded by at least like several hundred different companies that make a large amount of money every year selling information like your home address or your phone number. And that's why like there are scammers out there constantly calling you. You know, like this is a terrible information ecosystem. And folks really need to understand that companies do not have your best interests at heart. None of them do. You know, Proton Email just gave up one of the people who was organizing Stop Cop City. Okay? Like, because they were forced by, like, the Swiss government. Like, these companies don't have your best interests at heart.
All
They're not your
newborn
friend.
children must be surgically implanted with ocular monitoring device implanted behind the eye. Also, it feeds you ads.
Yeah, I mean, our privacy is a deeply, deeply necessary thing. Especially as Americans, if we prioritize and take pride in the idea that we stand against tyranny in our freedom. You know, like the underlying ethos of America is fundamentally anti-tyranny. And this idea that you should be identifiable and the government should be able to track you and should know everything that you're looking at, what you're learning about, etc. Nah, this is fundamentally anti-freedom. Okay? The Swiss government is going to stop Cop City? No. The Swiss government released the email information to the American FBI so that they could track down one of the organizers behind Stop Cop City. Your IP cross-referenced with all your internet traffic for targeted advertising. Now imagine it's everything you do on any computer device and it's your docs. Yep. Exactly. And, like, these companies aren't your friend. If they can make a profit selling your data or opening your data up to attack, they'll do it, you know? Additionally, just want to throw out there, we are also experiencing an attack on our privacy in the public sector, in meat space, as it were, when we just walk down the street or your kids go to the mall. You know, like, the issue here now is that Meta put out these Meta glasses, the Meta Ray-Bans.
Rosa Parks was trained before staying in her seat. The one thing school doesn't teach is how to stand up to tyranny, and that's on purpose.
That's true. We gotta do a better job teaching folks outside of school. This is incredibly disturbing. What privacy? As expected, Meta Ray-Bans are a privacy disaster. And it's not great. Smart glasses are a trendy item that rely on cameras to feed AI models and to answer queries. However, while this is viewed as a fun feature by many and a way to film their life in a hands-free way, it's still a massive privacy issue if not used correctly. An investigation by Svenska Dagbladet, apologies for pronunciation, on February 27th, looked into the workings of the Meta Ray-Ban partnership and its AI glasses. It found that the footage is collected and seen by many eyes, including human trainers of AI. Anonymous sources from a company in Nairobi, Kenya, revealed that they have seen footage of people at their most private and vulnerable times when the user's Meta smart glasses would rather not have the cameras rolling. So just to be very clear, right? So not only is your data at risk when you are just browsing the internet, your data is now at risk from just people existing near you who have an undeclared smart Ray-Ban glasses headset going on, right? And not only that, but it's not a closed information ecosystem for your Meta smart glasses, because the videos and images, what you are seeing and doing every day, is not being fed to an AI. It's all being sent to some poor schmuck in Kenya to look at and categorize for future AI. And they are recording and sending that data whether you want them to or not. Is there an option for privacy? I mean, it depends in what capacity, right? It is all just the same thing over and over again. I mean, Kenya, this isn't even the first time it's happened to Kenya. Back in 2023, it's destroyed me completely. Kenyan moderators decry toll of training AI models. They've been training these AI models for the last several years, watching everything that gets fed to them and categorizing it for AI, and the AI still sucks. So instead, they just have guys doing the AI shit. Like, when your Meta Ray-Bans are thinking, it's not the AI processing anything. It's some guy in Kenya looking at the images and video or Googling it online. It's like, it's genuinely insane. I mean, listen to this. This is, again, from the 2023 article in The Guardian. The 27-year-old said he would view up to 700 text passages a day, many depicting graphic sexual violence. He recalls he started avoiding people after having read texts about rapists and found himself projecting paranoid narratives onto people around him. Then last year, his wife told him he was a changed man and left. She was pregnant at the time. I lost my family, he said. Like, this is mentally destroying people on the other side of the planet. Yeah, it's an elaborate mechanical Turk. Exactly, Coder Joe. It's so frustrating because, again, this is something that absolutely should be illegal. They should not be, without your knowledge, sending videos to, like, some guy on the other side of the planet. They should not be sending your images to some guy on the other side of the planet. They shouldn't be doing this. Okay? None of this should be happening. We should have strict laws that serve our privacy, not corporations and corporate power, and certainly not for the benefit of government surveillance. We should not go quietly into the panopticon. It's a bad idea. You know what? It was really nice to hear at least someone in Congress talk about this today. because there was a House hearing, actually, on age verification.
The guise of the...
Let's listen to AOC talk about this issue. It was actually a real nice breath of fresh air.
At the top of this bill, we will talk about kids, and we'll say that things are in under the guise of the safety of children. But then when you actually open the hood and look at what's under there, it's being used as a smokescreen for everything that big tech lobbyists want. And what big tech lobbyists want is a national surveillance program where they can harvest the private and personal data of every American with zero actual protections for people and their privacy and victims of some of the most heinous crimes that we've seen in America. And we don't have to just talk about this as though this is a theoretical issue. Just a couple of months ago, Discord, a platform where a lot of kids have been targeted and put in danger, mind you, tried to roll out this idea of a data verification or an age verification technique. But they did it in this way that was also very emblematic of what we're against here today. They contracted out to a third-party private company to do facial scanning of not just kids, but also adults. And mind you, Discord has over 200 million users every month. They decided to launch a teen default setting where they will lock you into a quote unquote, what they call a teen appropriate experience, which means you can't access certain content, which mind you, if you are an adult that does not opt in, you then get cordoned off into the teen experience. Explain to me how that has anything to do with children's safety. And then if the only way to get out of that censored version is by scanning your face. But what's more shocking is that Discord made the decision to move forward with this after they had been hacked and at least 70,000 users had their data stolen. So I don't see, even on the other side of this, kids were not protected, but a lot of people's privacy was violated. And I want to, once again, express my heartfelt just condolences to all of the advocates here. And I do believe that we can both protect American safety and protect kids. This package, unfortunately, does not do that. And we want to get to a place where we, of course, protect victims and ensure the privacy of every American is honored as well. Thank you. At the top of this.
Damn, that was a good response. That was a great response on an issue that I think can be very easily have the waters muddied around. Like, again, it's really, really easy to fearmonger about, like, oh, the kids will see the obscene materials. They'll see the pornography. Realistically, this doesn't stop them from doing that. What this just does is violate everyone's privacy. Like, just that's all that's happening here, full stop. And again, also pointing out, like, yeah, okay, so in order to protect children, you're cordoning off everyone into the teen experience. That does not make sense, but whatever. She's genuinely very good at this. And folks, if you want to help put pressure on, your elected officials to stop the rollout of COSA and the repeal of Section 230, if you want to help kind of bolster this is my actual goal with this segment, okay? Which is, there's a website called badinternetbills.com, and it is an easy way to automatically email your elected officials on this issue, and it has a pre-written thing that it sends out. You can easily do this. I believe in you, chat. Okay? So here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Email your elected officials. And if you don't want to use this tool, that's fine. Use 5calls.org. Do whatever you gotta do to reach out to your elected officials, okay? Do your thing. Do that form, but be prepared to do more. Always. Always. Yeah, also, excellent point there, Cyrex, before we close out. Let's not forget that facial data will be used in AI porn. No chance that doesn't leak and get used in that way, or AI fake evidence if that gets progressively worse and developed. I mean, yeah, like, ultimately, what all of this data is then going to be used for, beyond just verifying and tracking your identity and seeing what you do online, it is going to then be fed into any AI. And your data will then just be one of the, trillions of data points it draws on to make any of these things that are blatant violations of our very selves. So all that being said, folks, I think this is a really important issue. I really wanted to talk about it today, and I really hope you take action. Again, if you use the command organize in any of the chats, you will also get links to 5 calls, factszero.com, and mobilize.us/indivisible. Let's see, doing the things.
I thought it was sufficient to visit the main page and then go to Mimosa Brunch.
Okay, but the mimosas can be really good, though, at brunch. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs, Sake Tanuki. So, anyway, get organized. Join your local Dems. Join your local DSA. Radicalize your Dems. Make your DSA more effective. One of the very first things you can start to do right now is use that link, badinternetbills.com, to send an email to your elected officials, even if you've never done it before. Super easy. If you want a little bit more challenging, you could do 5 calls and leave messages. You could use faxzero.com to send them faxes, which apparently many of them still have working fax machines. And also, again, join your local Dems, join your local DSA, get more involved in your local political scene, because we have to build up enough political power on the local level to see that future that we want for ourselves and our children and our children's children, okay? We got to start building that power now. Why does it feel like not many are talking about this? Because a lot of people get weird about the porn. A lot of people are like, well, I don't want my kid to see, horny furry thing. I don't want them to do that. I'm Normie McNormerson, and I think and fear my kids learning about yiffing at too young an age, because when I look at yiffing drawings, I start to feel feelings that I would rather not deal with right now. Oh, woo! So, yeah, anyway, it's because the whole, porn is icky. I don't want my kids seeing that because they're too young and precious and innocent. And then it puts a lot of folks who are like, well, yes, your kids are very special, in the awkward position of having to defend, the objectionable material, right? And the answer to this, of course, is not draconian fascistic language or laws or policies. The solution to this is just be a goddamn parent to your kids. That's it. Again, it's rich to me that the party of personal responsibility thinks personal responsibility somehow doesn't apply to parents. Oh no. I'm just a small bean. I'm just a small bean at 55 years old. I couldn't have a talk with my kids. Nah, dude. Grow a fucking pair and have the talk with your kids. Make sure they're being safe. Anyway, all that being said, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe. Comments longer than 8 words apparently help the most in the algorithm. And check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. And I would just like to add at the very end here that, again, your data and your security take on even more importance for trans folks. Because, they're trying to ban binders now. That's a thing that happened and is still, ongoing. They're still, trying to do it. And violating your privacy when you need to buy a binder or something like that, or for example, gender euphoric lingerie, this is really gross and bad, and maybe we shouldn't have the government tracking that in the first place. But in the meantime, if you need some cute gender euphoric lingerie for trans femmes, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the doobly-doo. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat Deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and Swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, being